presidential jet update is Amosun and Pat Utomi. You added it and then put Amosun versus Pat Utomi again. Yes, it's an offshoot of. So why is this? That are there two different headlines? Um,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga, and you're listening to Boom Radio. Boom Radio. Keep listening. Don't touch it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the BoomBar right here on your Boom Radio NG, and my name is Dolupo. A big warm welcome to the bar today. It's a brand new week, so as my people will say, is it Happy New? Yeah, Happy New Week. And it's going to be very interesting today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. A lot of things really did happen over the weekend. There are breakdown of people's argument back and forth, the updates on the presidential jet seizure. Also, there's Isheshe Day in Southwest tomorrow. That is quite interesting. That a lot of people are going to be talking about. I think that's something worth talking about. However, President Tinubu is not in Nigeria again. Also, there is the conversation around the salaries of House of Assembly or National Assembly members is still up for conversation, as we're still going to be talking about that. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. And with me in the studio is Shola Rogers.
Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Shola Rogers reporting for duty. Thanks for being there. God bless you, God guide you, God keep you.
Now, first things first, what we're going to be talking about today is about the presidential jet. So there's an update on the presidential jet seizure. There's another conversation that has come up from that, but maybe a little bit of update from the presidential jet seizure.
Well, as it stands, as at Friday when we were all here, we zeroed in on the serving governor, the current governor of Ogun State. Everybody felt that Governor Dapo Abiodun was more or less culpable in this issue of Nigeria's jet being seized. Again, the federal government has now reiterated that no federation, meaning the states, no federating unit should enter into an international agreement without the presence of the federal government, because we can't continue to have this kind of embarrassing situation. So what it is that Governor Dapo Abiodun is not culpable in any way.
He's looking like the knight in shining armor. So
he didn't cancel this deal. It was not his fault in any way. So finally, he gets some slack. We get to cut him some slack on that one. However, we went to the next person in line to him. Happens to be Ibikule Amosun. Some people went as far as calling out Benga Daniel, who started the deal, who started the deal. And as it stands, Governor Benga Daniel, who is now a serving senator, said, look, the deal was there when he left. So it now falls back on Governor Ibikule Amosun, who finally came out to say yes, that there was a bit of a controversy between two Chinese companies. That all of this drama that is playing out is the fact that there was a Chinese company that the Ogun State government had entered into a partnership with for the free trade zone and all of the Guangzhou free trade zone and everything. But according to him, and I would paraphrase, not directly quote, according to him, it was when they were about to review some things that another Chinese company now came with a story that Chinese company was wrong and this one was right, and that they now mistakenly, somehow.
Yeah, okay, mistake a whole governor. BT 616 says we Ogun citizens are sorry about Amosun and.
And what? It's heavy.
Benga, according to BT 616, Benga white teeth Daniel. I'm just quoting what was written. We should all come together and pay off these Nigerian debts. I think it's not Nigeria's debt, it's Ogun's debt.
It's not just Ogun State debt, it's the governor's debt. On the funny side, I saw someone write on social media that, please, if you are from Ogun State, don't go to China.
Because they will still carry you at this point.
But on a serious tip, I think that Governor Amosun might have made a big mistake by saying that, there's a deal with someone, an authentic deal.
And they mistakenly.
Then another one came along and somehow you transferred this one to this one. It was just so funny and all. But yes, it did shed some light on what had transpired, but it does not wash him clean. It's not as if it's a situation where you say, I didn't make a mistake. You actually looks like.
So I did a bit of research and I think the Chinese company has seemed to have released one of Nigeria's jets. Now my question is it there to take in the first place?
Yes, of course it's not.
It's not, because why are you now releasing what is according to some law or according to some judgment, you own it. Now, it's interesting because after all said and done, there was a lot of conversation. There's been a lot of conversation around it. Professor Pat Utomi, who is, I think, in Labour Party now.
He jumped on the bandwagon.
And now narrated a story that he had with Ogun State. And was talking about how when Ibukule Amosu became governor, how they cancelled a deal that he had with the government. Basically, remember we were talking about last week how a new governor comes and just cancels things. So basically, that was what he was referring to, how a lot of things got cancelled. His deal, that some agriculture deal that he had with Ogun State got cancelled.
Are you even sure it was an agricultural deal?
According to him.
Okay, because the site is Opik in Ikeja.
According to them. Jesus.
So I'm not sure it's an agricultural deal.
You people. BT 616 says, and I quote, beginning of quote, Pat Utomi is an attention whore. Please read Amosu's response to Pat Utomi's lies. Yeah. Now, that's where we're going to. There's a bit of back and forth around it. So Pat Utomi had said that he had a deal, and when Ibukule Amosu came in, he broke that deal. Now, Pat Utomi, Ibukule Amosu now replies Pat Utomi and says that he has been blacklisted by the Ogun State Assembly. So, and he's been declared like a persona non grata in Ogun State. So he has no right to say that there was something that there was a deal he had with the Ogun State government. However, today, Pat Utomi has now come to respond to that allegation, saying that before this particular deal, he has had absolutely nothing to do with Ogun State or any other state whatsoever. So, at what part or where was he? At what part did they say that he was blacklisted, and he never got any correspondence to that effect?
Okay, so I think Professor Pat Utomi is just playing to the gallery on this one. if you are blacklisted, they don't need to tell you. They really don't. You know, Pat Utomi went as far as saying that Ibikule Amosun drove him in his car and the police were driving behind. I think reviewed how close they were and all of that. And when I read Ibikule Amosun's first response and tried to balance it out with an open mind, you will see that it was filling in the gap. And at some point, you understand that, and according to Governor Amosun, former governor, Senator Amosun, he said something like, Pat Utomi claimed he had spent 200 million on some construction somewhere, and that he's asking every journalist to go there and verify, like if you really want to verify if he's telling the truth or not. And that in his own belief, that thing was hastily put together because they knew that there was a change of government, that the new government was coming in, which was him, and that Benga Daniel, of course, was leaving. And that's why they quickly did what they did. I think Utomi then was more or less a PDP person or something, and was really close to Benga Daniel's government. And Senator Amosun now said that what he felt was that, look, they did an assessment and said maybe he had spent about 30 or 40 million. And they said, you know what, to compensate him, they approved the 100 million for him to go and claim this 100 million now. You can't claim 200 million and get 200 million from the government. Government is giving you 100 million, some kind of soft landing. Now, Pat Utomi claims that he had to sell property, he had to do some to pay off his South African partners and lick his wound quietly, that he even went as far as talking to the then leader of the party, Bola Tinubu, is now president of Nigeria. He sent a lot of people to him and all of that, which of course, Ibikule Amosun acknowledged that he did send some people to him. But if you listen to both of them, there's no way, you know, you will not realize that a lot of us trading had happened. And
yeah, there's a lot. So to buttress your point, BT616 says, see how Utomi never addressed the accusation. The guy brought in a Chinese firm to fleece Ogun State. Nigerians need to leave us alone. Sola, the South African partners were Chinese, not lie.
Yeah, isn't it strange? Like, well, maybe they are. Well, we know that they are Chinese South Africans, though. So
really.
But they are actually. Really? Did you see
Really?
They have all races in South Africa.
You're going to do that.
Did you not see the Onyibo that won their Miss South Africa last week? Shebi is Onyibo. You know. So these are the real issues. You understand that. He basically thought that he was more or less casting Amosun by saying, no, Amosun spoiled the deal that he was also involved in and everything. And
I'm not going to say that. BT616 says, aka, I'm not going to say it. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not sure that I want to say that out again. Oh my God. I have no words at this point. Honestly, I think that this back and forth has now even moved a lot of drama off the original conversation. The original conversation is really about the presidential jet and a lot of things that are happening. I think that both Ibikule Amosun, I think that Ibikule Amosun started this drama. However, nobody is going to go to court is not going to indict him. Honestly, I think that there's a lot of indictment that Ibikule Amosun and a lot of issues he has caused Ogun State by mistakenly or unknowingly. I think that's a very weak excuse, whether we like it or not.
Because there was a deal on ground.
So it's almost like as if he himself is trying to move attention away from the original conversation.
Look,
that's it.
You had a subsisting deal with an entity signed by a previous government. If you even felt that your state had been shortchanged, you should have called them for negotiation, not cancelling it and handing it to another company. That doesn't even go well. It doesn't
there's
sit
a level
well.
of what. So what's not the point of all the what's the word that they do? The handovers and everything. Now, moving on from that, and why I think on this matter I would also not absolve the current governor now, Dakwa Abiodun, is that you see how every government, state and federal, they have huge committees. They say they are doing handover committee and all those, what's it called? They call it one funny name. I can't remember what it is they call it. Transition committee. How you see how they do all these things all the time. However, this should have also been part of the things that were handed over to you. You should have found a way to. It seems like they didn't do anything about it until this case came out. Whether you like it or not, this governor, he's now been there for 5 years. After reading a bit, it was obvious that the current Ogun State administration did absolutely nothing on that matter. They just left it until whatever. So what do you people do during your transition committee? What's the point? That's how we realize and we say that government is a continuum. You will always have to go back to it because their own, the government or the Ogun State administration's defense now is that it wasn't during our time. However, you are there now.
Well, yeah, but you see, again, now that we know how embarrassing the thing had become anyway, I'm not going to really put that much blame on the current governor, knowing that, look, there's a whole lot of stuff that comes at you, and we don't know how you're going to prioritize what. You know, it's down to him to look for a way to fix issues that he will meet, and also try to meet up with promises that were made and all of that. So I won't join Dolupo in condemning this current government. I just feel that maybe, just maybe, they should have taken it a little bit more serious, especially when those people started talking about court cases and lawsuits and everything, that they should have taken it a little bit more serious. Again, understanding that that's one of the reasons why you have a Ministry of Justice. That's one of the reasons why you have an Attorney General.
So what have you not been doing in the States?
It should not just be about them, doing the regular stuff that they're known for, but these are also things that are supposed to be part of their job. And again, they could have actually outsourced that legal battle to a private lawyer who would be able to
actually have the time. Yeah, you might say you don't have the time
for the state, because look, if any fine has to be paid, if the Nigerian government has to pick up slack for them, they should start deducting it from their allocations.
Yeah, you deduct it.
They should start deducting it. Whatever figure that money comes to,
the money should be paid from Ogun State.
Because it looks like an authentic deal was terminated, regardless of whatever. However, why they might not have to pay a fine is that knowing that the place is still functional and their companies actually, running their businesses at that free trade zone. So it's not as if they terminated the entire thing and all of that. So I'm also hoping that place has generated enough
funds that they will pay. You'll use it to pay their gbese. Yes,
one way or the other.
At this point, I feel that yes, states should do something. Let states pay for whatever it is they did. Okay, so BT616 says Sola wants government officials to outsource money-making opportunities. Sola, funny gone.
Hey, but you know that there are times when they have to do these things. Like, for instance, we know that even the EFCC and some of these other bodies, or NDLEA, from time to time, they need to get lawyers to help them fight now. In a situation like this, even if they want to make money, I'm not going to say that. I almost... No, okay. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
Oh God!
No, it's not happening.
All right, so we're moving on from that. Yeah, definitely. Whatever updates or whatever back and forth that is going to come from these two people, we will continue to bring it to you. Just what I pray out there, President Bola Tinubu has gone to France again. Please, what's always in this France? Just wanted to ask.
Well,
he seems to go to France a lot.
France to Tinubu is London to Buhari. That's what I say. So it's looking like the charger that former President Buhari used to use, he left it in London. So he would just go there and
charge his phone and come back.
Charge his phone. So it looks like President Tinubu is going to France to charge phone.
Sha always going to this France. Anyway, Sha go to France.
My own thing, Sha, is that regardless of whatever they go to do, because they allow this leeway anyway. If it's medical, for 4 years or so of BoomBar, I kept on saying that if Buhari would leave Nigeria without building a world-class hospital that other African presidents can come to, which will also stop people like him from going to London for medical checks and stuff, it would be that he has failed in the health sector, regardless of anything he has achieved. And if President Bola Tinubu, if it's medical, this France that they didn't state when he's coming back.
They're always not stating when he's what he's going to do.
No. Chebi, the one of 3 days that he went last week, they told us it's 3 days.
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to
when
France,
it's France,
we don't hear it about it.
France is mysteriously shrouded in mystery.
You just know that he's gone.
But if it's medical, I like to plead that they look at how they can actually build. Do you know how many African presidents have died in abroad hospital? Apparently, all these people, if we use these our slangs, they cannot flag it if you are saying the other word. But really, pie is our slang. Do you know how many African leaders have died outside Nigeria? Outside Africa, on top going to look for medical treatment. Why can't Nigeria build the cat and build this world, build it inside Aso Rock or close to Aso Rock or something, so that they can be recharging their battery here.
It, we shall know that. One thing that I know that is very obvious is that anytime they want to go to France, they don't state what he wants to do or what he's going to go and do,
and when he's coming
or
back.
when he's coming back. You just shall know that he's going. You will be fine last. Anyway, moving on from that, still staying with the Southwest, as 4 out of, at least at the time of this report, 4 out of 6 states in the Southwest have declared tomorrow public holiday. I think last year it was official where they all announced August 20th as Isheshe Day.
It looks like that's why Peterman came to Nigeria.
Oh yeah, he said he was coming to Nigeria. That's true.
He should be in town by now.
Oh yeah.
When he said 2 days on
2
Friday.
days, yeah. So he should be in town by now. Yeah.
Maybe jet lag is preventing him from, or he doesn't have international internet connection.
Which actually, but where is Chief Odikoko? We've not heard
Chief Odikoko has been busy with the
organization of
Isheshe Day.
Actually, so really, Lagos State, Ogun State, Oyo State, and Osun State have announced public holidays in these states tomorrow for state workers, because I don't think that private workers will take public holiday.
Well,
anyway, Sha,
this is how it always starts, and that's how it's always been. You understand, where the state declares, you cannot declare for your own staff not to go to work. It's for you to key into it to say, the state government has declared, though.
Yeah, I think it will catch on.
Yeah, remember how June 12 used to be before? It used to be
a Southwest thing.
Yeah, only the states, and eventually it became a national thing and all of that.
Yeah.
So I am not saying that Isheshe Day will become national, but that the entities,
maybe even the private sector,
corporate bodies will come to recognize it, because again, I hope that people will not be vilified, or people will not be, classified as fetish or whatever when they decide to practice their tradition, because it is also a religion in quotes. And the treatment that you would give a person that you're allowed to go for Christmas, that you allow another person to go for Salah, should also be meted down to the person that wants to celebrate Isheshe Day.
Exactly.
It has to be done across board. And that's how it should be in a secular state that Nigeria claims to be. Everything has to be equal, So congratulations to all the people, all the practitioners of Isheshe, and I pray that they get more recognition and more leeway that they deserve in their country, in their fatherland, because of all the religions that are very popular in Nigeria, this is the only homegrown one that is seemingly getting some kind of response from government.
Okay, so happy Isheshe Day in advance. At least we say Merry Christmas, we say Happy Idomoli. So
should it be something like Isheshe Agbewa or something? I don't know. There will be some kind of,
I'm sure there's maybe some form of greeting.
Someone should tell us, please.
If anybody knows, please inform us. But anyway, for now, happy Isheshe Day for people that are celebrating it. So at least you have given people that are not good celebrities, you've given them public holiday. So I'm sure that's why a lot of people are just happy about, like, at least they get to get public holiday. Now moving on from that, and now there's a very interesting conversation. Okay. Shola BT616 says, Shola, the low-key Shango worshipper, pretending like say you don't know. It's okay.
Wait, now it's Shogo. I thought that was what was that again?
You're no longer apostle. Only you.
A mini content.
Apostle. Now you are Shango worshipper.
Maybe I'm undercover.
At this point, I have no words.
To be honest, I'm not adverse to anything that has to do with Ishashe. I'm not adverse to anything that has to do with Christianity or Islam. I just believe that we should all walk out our own salvation with fear and trembling.
That was empty. Anyway, moving on from that, let's talk about another very interesting issue where a former senator has come out to say, and this is of the offshoot of this back and forth about people's salaries, the National Assembly, the salaries they get, the allowances they get, and all. So this man was sacked, so he's no longer a senator. So he was an interview.
Still a senator.
No, he's
Senators
not a
are
senator.
senators.
No, he's not a senator.
Dolupo, once a senator, always a senator.
No, it's just in the name. He's no longer a senator.
In Dolupo's books.
No, there's a senator representing his constituency at the moment, senatorial district at the moment. So no, he's no longer a senator. Okay. Now moving on from that, what I wanted to say.
What is on your headline? Why is senator in the person's name?
I don't know. I don't know why you put it there.
You wrote it.
That's not what I wrote. Anyway, now moving on from that, Senator Abbo, as former Senator Abbo, has come out to say and talk about how when he was in the Senate, he made they got about 14 point something million naira per month in salaries and allowances. He said his salary was about $1 million naira, but they got running grants and got a lot of allowances, which amounted to about 14 million. They're talking about how right now they're getting between about 25 to 29 million naira every month. So he's made a few things. He made a few pronouncements, which has got a lot of people talking. First things first, he's talking about how he got poorer when he became a senator. Mm-hmm. That when it comes to constituency projects, everybody wants something from the senator and all that, and how there's so much to use that money to do that he started spending more of his own personal money added to the money that he was being paid. And so there was a conversation about how much they're being paid now and how much it makes sense. And he said that 29 million is not a lot of money.
For him?
For a senator.
Was it the same guy that had that dildo issue?
Yes.
Okay. It can't be enough.
You just had to bring that in.
I just wanted clarity.
No, there was no need. It was complete.
In all honesty,
it was unnecessary. You didn't need. You did not need to add that. But of course, it's you. You just.
Jesus.
Moving on.
Okay. Well, if it's the same guy, I understand.
Which same guy?
The money can't be enough. He has a lot of extracurricular activities.
Oh my God.
You know, look, the Nigerian politicians, they must realize that it's a new day. Things are changing. If you had developed the country enough, do you know the funny thing? Nobody will care about your salary.
Yeah.
If Nigerians had regular power, pipe bomb water, good roads, you know, weather for two, conducive.
I don't understand.
Conducive places to execute weather for by buying dildo. Was the dildo going to be a constituency project? Maybe he wanted to share it to help many.
Can we stick to the original story?
Is it not the same person that we're talking about? So, but on a real to real, if and only if since 1999, let's forget the past, there's been this aggressive move towards infrastructural development, this aggressive move towards welfare and a lot of things being put in place for Nigerians. And you would find that if that had been done, constantly and aggressively, a lot of Nigerians will be better off today, and they won't really be concerned about your take home and your salary. So some of us are fooled by, okay, your senators earn 800k or whatever k officially. Do you understand?
But the same way governors too earn just some few thousands officially.
Yeah. However, everything they are taking home, sounds immoral to a lot of people who will never see that money no matter what they do in their entire lifetime.
Yeah. So now he is saying that he became poorer when he became a politician. Doesn't that sound like a politician's kind of talk?
Yeah. It shows that he's actually very, very steep and deep into his politics.
What are you using the money to do?
Yep. Okay. In fairness, so I've told this story a lot of times here at the bar. In 1999, my friends were councillors in Surulere, and I took a walk on a Saturday morning with one of my friends. He lives in America now. And along that walk from barracks to Love Garden in Surulere, he had stopped to greet a lot of people. And he was just telling me, give me 500 naira, give me 1,000 naira, give me 200 naira. At the end of the day, why? Because everybody's coming to the councillor to say, councillor, we want to buy pap. This other one wants to buy a wagon. This one's child is sick and they want to buy. And because he was on that walk, they were his constituents and he had to, And I said to myself, these guys are actually going through a lot. Whenever we go out together to social gatherings, there are a lot of people out there to beg. And they start, some of them will start telling you, we voted for you. Yeah. We're waiting for you in 2 years' time. Don't worry, we're going to deal with you. And I said, this is councillor. What will chairman of local government be going through when it comes to our entitlement mentality? Beyond me speaking to the government to say you should have put some things in place, what about us too? And the fact that we feel that because we voted for someone, it must feed us.
It must feed us. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where all that drama is going to end. Now, moving on from that quickly. Let's do a bit of gist coming from the NDLEA. Now, first things first. The NDLEA is proposing that there should be drug testing for students seeking university admission.
The NDLEA is proposing a lot of tests. A lot of these tests I agree with. But what happens afterwards? Like, beyond us being able to say, we are trying to screen out drug users in schools, do we have some kind of rehabilitation plan? Do you have, what's next after screening them out? Okay, maybe stop them from even entering school in the first place, which is also not a bad idea, knowing that a person who abuses drugs is also most likely...
It's not fit for some of these things.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be criminal-minded, especially if he cannot fund his... he can't fund his habit anymore. Do you understand?
I get what you're saying.
And all of that. But, they've talked about testing here and there, but some of the suggestions that they've made, I've not really seen them put action to it.
Now, for me, when I saw it, the first thing that pops up in my head is, okay, so these days, one cannot, don't even let me stop, because what I wanted to say was that you find a lot of people wanting to go into school without drugs yet, but these days you can never see the kind of things that you see these days. It's just crazy. However, even if people stay clean for a few months, or people are not, maybe even drug-free before they get into school, between the time they get into school and they get out of school, do you understand? That one test at the beginning, what does it do at the end of the day?
Yeah, so it's just not to test them, because, for instance, you know these things now. Human beings, especially criminals, are always one step ahead. So for them to enter school now, they need to do. They'll just abstain for 2 weeks or 1 week or 3 days.
Exactly.
Make sure that their urine and their blood is clean, and once they are done, they go back to their ways. So if you're going to start that test, let it also be random testing, let it be periodic, let it be unscheduled.
Exactly.
So that the idea of testing students, university students now, is to find out if they're on drugs and if you can help them, because it should go beyond just apprehending them. It's also to maybe lead you to the source of the drugs, who are the people selling drugs to these children. And maybe they should extend that thing, if it is a law that needs to be passed, to secondary school, because some things are happening in secondary school.
That's what I'm saying, that the things that are happening these days. I was going to say that you're almost sure that maybe people going into the uni will be clean, but these days you never can say, like, the kind of things that you hear and see these days. So I think that there needs to be a lot of modalities, because even if they do, you'll always find people that will find loopholes to some of these things. Take, for example, the day someone told me once, I think I was in uni, when someone said urine tests that they do for ladies for pregnancy and all that all you just need to do is just drop water inside the urine. I say, what?
And then what happens?
And then it won't read. Like, it will never read that the person is pregnant.
How are you?
I say, wow. Wow.
It is a case of Agbabiaka.
I say, wow. You people.
So you learned how to do your own manipulation of results, or what? Is that the moral of this story?
I don't need to manipulate any results.
Okay. I thought you were going somewhere with that story.
I wasn't going anywhere.
Okay. So your friends were manipulating their pregnancy.
I said I heard. I didn't say my friends.
The person that told you is your enemy. You are not friends with.
I don't have to be friends with the person. I could be an acquaintance. I could just be talking.
Okay, so your acquaintances were manipulating their pregnancies. I was still talking about mental health and drug use and drug abuse. Our friends, Supine, that's the Suicide Research Prevention Initiative. These are doctors and health practitioners and even regular people who have volunteered to help Nigerians with the fight for mental health, well-being, and all of that. They're talking about commemorating the World Suicide Prevention Day, Dolupo, and they said research as a tool for promoting future mental well-being amongst the youths, part 2. So what they're talking about is that they're asking secondary school kids, and the authorities who would, want to help kids to fight suicide prevention. We know that this thing now is not an adult thing now. At times, the awareness that you create at that level will probably be saving the life of some kid somewhere in the future. So they're talking about an event that we'll be bringing a lot of awareness about in subsequent episodes of the BoomBar.
Okay, now moving on from that, still talk about NDLEA. At the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, they had arrested a man who was on his way to, out of Nigeria, and he had excreted 88 wraps of cocaine. He was on his way to Vietnamese.
To Vietnam.
Yeah, it was on his way to Vietnam, sorry. Paul Oku Umbadugba. He was arrested at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, where he tested positive for ingestion of cocaine. I just wanted to ask though, since he's ingested, how do they? Maybe when you pass through, what's it called? There's a scanner that sees your stomach. I'm just asking, like.
I think one of the things that one of the traits of looking out for people like this is in seeing that they will refuse to eat or drink anything.
But you don't have to eat or drink anything on the airport, do you?
Do you know where it was coming from? Was it a direct flight from Nigeria? Was it a connecting flight?
Okay, so they might have been watching him from inside the plane.
Yeah, it's going to stop to connect another flight or whatever. But regardless, I just said that's one of the things that, they imagine that you're on a long haul flight.
You might be doing 40 days fast.
Below.
But are you saying that people don't do 40 days fast?
That your 40 days fasting will be proven when they pull you aside at the airport to say, oh, yeah, come.
Don't be saying you. What's my own?
You are talking about you going on the 40 day. Okay, the person going on the 40 days. And then I'll pull the person aside to say, okay, come. I
can be on a 40-day fast and be on the way to US.
You are a person of interest. Okay, so you can be on a 40-day fast.
Yes.
Then you will,
and I cannot be pulled aside.
Because
that's
of what? Because of what? You're so delusional.
I'm not delusional. Yeah, I've never been pulled aside.
Wait, did you refuse to eat? You that you'll be ordering everything on plate. as long as it's free.
God forbid, I don't do such. I don't do such because I like my stomach. Food plate is always not nice anyway. So moving on, it's not nice.
Okay. So we've made light of this again, but this is a big problem for us as a country, seeing that at times some of these drugs that they are even transporting are not grown locally, and Nigeria has become some kind of major. It's always been, not become, some kind of major transit point for drug mules.
So why can't they just take straight flights?
They have to go through the places where they feel that they will find a leeway, places where there's a loophole. You know, maybe they have some kind of arrangement with some authorities, some people, and it didn't work well and all of that. Because you see, drug cartels don't just work. You know, they will always find a way.
So apparently, this one was coming from Isolo.
The guy was connecting his flight from Sola to the airport.
He said that if he lands, that his friend gave it to him, and that they were going to pay him $2,000.
So,
wait, how much is $2,000?
Where was he flying to?
Vietnam.
For $2,000.
How much is $2,000?
The guy is not speaking the truth.
$2,000, pere?
Made a person better.
Pere? What if that did that bus?
That's 3 million naira now. Isn't this the guy that said he's a trader that he has shops and
so because of 3 million naira? God forbid bad thing. See, this is what I used to say.
How many raps again?
Before you say 88. So this is what I used to say. You people say Dolupo started again.
Criminal minded.
No. If you are going to do anything, do it with sense. If they say, okay, they catch the guy now, and the guy said, that they had planned to give him $100,000 or like even at least $50,000.
I find it hard to
you will say that, okay, it's not, Jonas, and the money could have enticed him. $2,000, but
I find it hard to believe. His story for me is, fraught with a lot of lies and untruths. But I hope that when they catch the mule, they can also catch the people who sent it.
Yeah, so they're talking about how they were going to raid the Sola place where he said...
the picture in front of this guy is everything that he swallow.
No. So there's also talks of intercepting drugs that was packed in boxes of noodles.
Yeah. You see, that's why one day they will just ban Nigerian food from going abroad completely.
This is how
the other day was these cubes that they used to put inside soup that they were faking. The other day they used, what have they not even used to carry this? They are weary and what be weary people.
Anyway,
it's sad though, because then you get pulled over as a Nigerian innocent person.
Yeah, innocent person.
And they say Nigerian passport is bad. Who's making it bad?
Who's making it bad? It's because of this kind of things. Now, let's move on quickly. Let's move to a bit of politics. As sadly, Oyo APC chairman Honorable Isaac Omodewu. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Omodewu. Sounds okay. That sounds right.
Dewu call.
It's Omodewu.
Hyundai ni.
It's Omodewu. Died at the age of 61.
Oh wow!
It's such a very, very, very sad one. Our hearts and thoughts are with his family and the people of Oyo State. Now, moving on to that. Now we're moving to Bauchi State, where there's very interesting gist that happened in Bauchi State. So there's local government elections over the weekend. However, PDP won all the seats, local government seats. Now, the interesting part with it is that before they finally got to this point, some seats were, would I say won, or some polling units were won when there was even no candidates
from a particular party.
From a particular party.
But people still voted.
Now, two things is that I think that this shows, for me, that a lot of people are very uninformed. Even the people voting. We know we have the people that do not vote. There also now also shows that people also did not know who they were voting for. Two, the state electoral bodies. If
there are no candidates.
If there are no candidates, why was the party on the ballot paper?
Yeah, why put their logo on it?
Why put their logo? It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't actually.
Because even if you wanted to vote for a particular party, it is what is available that you should vote for. Because
can we look at this voting pattern? And we're talking about how the PDP cleared the local government elections in Bauchi at the weekend.
Yeah.
But a large chunk of people in some parts of Bauchi State voted for Labour Party. Can we look at it from another angle and say, rather than say that they were not informed, could it be by some stroke of genius that it was some kind of protest vote for them? That, you know what, we're not going to vote APC, we're not going to vote PDP, we're going to vote Labour regardless. Even if the vote is going to waste, let us show these people that we don't like them and we don't want
I get
them.
it. But you know that even if you're going to vote,
Protest vote.
if you're going to have protest votes and you want to
Make a
thumbprint,
statement.
even if you want to thumbprint, if it's not there, there's nothing you're thumbprinting. You rather not vote.
If it's not there, then they will just vote all over the place and make sure that the thing becomes invalid. Then the invalid votes will be more than the valid votes.
Exactly. That's
then
what I'm
then
saying.
the election will be inconclusive.
That's what I'm saying.
But there was a
you would
logo
not
there that they
vote.
could have voted for.
That's what I'm saying. Then that goes back to the electoral body.
But actually, this happened in one particular.
Now, see,
in a
this
one
this
particular
this happened in Lusabi ward of Bogoro local government area. Now, Labour Party seemed to have won. However, the Independent Electoral Commission of Bauchi State declared the candidates of the PDP who came second. That's where my issue is. Why was Labour Party on that ballot? It does not make any sense.
Maybe there was a candidate before the candidate now pulled out at the last minute. But the sad part is that
See this voting pattern. So this Labour Party votes had 2,200 votes. The PDP person had 2,168. Now, meaning that there are 2,200 people who basically had invalid votes.
they just voted for their favorite party. That's all.
But they're invalid. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't blame them. It was on the ballot. Now, two things why I don't blame them is that even the parties, it's obvious that these people also voting. You want people to vote, but how informed are they? It doesn't make any sense.
So voter education, whose job
you
is
think
it?
you have seen it all, but Nigeria and Nigerians just start showing you another side to things. You think you have seen it all, but nothing is ever too possible. Nothing is impossible when it comes to Nigerian politics. Anyway, Edo election is in a few weeks' time, and INEC has now begun PVC distribution. Is beginning PVC distribution on Thursday. Also, sorry. Still talking about Edo, the PDP candidate Aswe Godalo, who we don't even know. It's okay. It's PDP candidates for now, Sha. Is now accusing the APC of attacking the PDP chair people, the excos, the PDP excos, and that they're churning out thugs and attacking their own people. Now, when we hear these things happen, isn't it always like the other way around?
Wait. You have to say that again.
Aswe Godalo, the PDP candidate.
APC is using their own thugs.
Yes, to attack
APC people.
To attack PDP people. Yes.
He might have proof, though.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have proof. What I'm saying is, I thought, or I assumed, when you hear this kind of things, it's always the other way around, where it's always the talk of the incumbent party or the party there, that there's always the claims always come from the opposition parties saying that the party is using the power of the state to intimidate them.
Things have changed, and so it's a different time and a different era, and it's all politics at the end of the day. We all know how messy politics can get in Nigeria, especially when people are prone, to this violent style of politics. Remember that not long ago was the APC's candidate convoy was attacked, and I think a policeman lost his life in the old.
Yeah, so basically, it's serious how they're saying that the APC is arresting chieftains in the state. I'm like, okay, so is the APC in charge of the state now?
Maybe they're referring to federal might now. They're basically saying that, okay, because they have federal might, they're doing
that on self-day.
There has to be proof. There really has to be proof.
Yeah, that on self-day. Now, moving on quickly, let's just go through a bit of international stories, and then we will end with a bit of sports stories. Definitely, there's a lot of gist with sports over the weekend. Now, Philippines has reported the first Mpox case this year. Sad. One person is dead. There's still 7 people missing after a whirlwind sunk a super yacht in Sicily.
Yeah, sad story there. That's sad, and it's looking like some top dogs were on that.
On that yacht. Now moving on from that, let's talk a bit of sports. So, first things first, let's go all the way to Syria, where the coach of Napoli has now come to apologize for the loss in the first game of the season. So I think they were defeated 3-0. It was for in Napoli, that it is Napoli, like, Now, what a lot of people are talking about with that is, this is a Napoli, this is a Conte that everybody knows. Conte is not a bad coach. However, their star boy in quote was not even on the bench or anywhere near that. And is it that, well, everybody knows it's not hidden just that he wants Osimhen to leave. But if he has not left, why not use him to your advantage?
So that's a good question, but sometimes we need to cut the coach some slack in that regard, knowing that, for instance, Ivan Tony was not used at the weekend because his coach said that there's a lot of interest in him by people who want to acquire his services. So one of the reasons why coaches stop using those players is because they want the deal to work, and they don't want the players to get injured, so that the guy fails a medical and the deal is off. Another way is for him to wean his team off this person's talent, to say, how is life going to be without this particular player?
Person.
So at times, that's why those coaches do this. In the case of Conte, the reason why it's a talking point is that he seems to have shown some kind of venom with the way he's expressed.
Very, very huge
he's
one.
Expressed his own, disdain of the presence of Victor Osimhen in his team.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Now it's official. Chelsea has now received an official bid for Napoli's Romelu Lukaku.
For Napoli's Romelu Chelsea.
Sorry, for Chelsea's Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah.
So so could he really be looking like Mr. Osimhen will be going to Chelsea? So BT616 says Napoli will be fighting against relegation. Chelsea will be terrible because they have an American owner. Osimhen should go to Chelsea.
Yeah, I just want Osimhen out of Napoli at this point.
It's
come to a point where he just needs to get out. And
wherever
he goes. If it's PSG that eventually step up to the plate, it will be nice. If it's,
Osimhen should go to PSG. Okay,
is that what he said?
Yes, I think he corrected himself. He should go to PSG.
I'd rather him go there, but if he doesn't have a choice, then maybe fall back on Chelsea. He should
just go. Now, still talking about a lot of sporting.
Fall back on Chelsea with their 43 players.
A lot of sporting gist. Of course, over the weekend, a lot of leagues started. We saw the drama that happened. We saw all the drama.
Is it my mic?
Over the weekend? No. We saw all the drama that happened. Let's start from yesterday, where with all the squad that Chelsea had, they still could not get one over.
Yeah, the issue with Chelsea's squad, apart from the bloated figure that they have, is the fact that where were the new players that they bought? Like, more or less like you rolled out the same team that a Pochettino would have rolled out. Do you understand? Like, I'm like, okay, so they bought about 9 players.
Yes, they did. They did.
So where are they?
So what exactly
what's
the point? Exactly, I get what you're saying. So anyway, City beats them 2-0.
And it's looking like City is going to win the league again, and we don't want that. I speak on behalf of everybody else that is not a City fan.
But it's early times. We don't know yet.
Honestly, we don't know yet. This is time for us now. I'm saying it openly again. I said it last season. Guardiola shamed me. But today, I'm rooting for Arteta. He has shown the way he has built his team in the last 2-3 seasons that if there's any team out there that can actually stop Pep, it is this, and you will see it from the way they actually played against each other.
Yes,
last season
there is a lot of.
It's not like the previous games, though.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you on that. When you see 2 seasons ago, the gap that City gave Arsenal with being second, now. Last season, they literally closed the gap to 2, and if they can continue in that trajectory, it will do a lot of good. BT616 says, a very serious question. How did Nicole Jackson become a striker? Did you see the man has an Indomie right leg?
You know, the thing is, that question is the £1 million question. Everybody is wondering, like, is that the best that Chelsea can
Chelsea could come up with?
Honestly, at this point, they should be playing false 9. Put your midfielders there instead. Because I've totally lost confidence in Jackson. I don't see how.
You don't see how he's going
to be the one that would take them to the next level. Because look at Chelsea now; they're looking like a mid-level team.
Exactly.
Forget
nothing has changed between last season and this season.
Glory and the fact that they've spent billions in recent years. Where's the result?
What's the point? Now, still talking, another very shocking thing that happened yesterday in the world of football is Mallorca playing a draw with Real Madrid. Keep in mind, this is a Real Madrid that played 2-0, defeated Atalanta 2-0 last week. Now coming first game of the season, playing a 1-1 draw.
Oh, shock one back on.
Oh, shock one gone. Oh, shock one.
And we know we've seen this outburst from Jude Bellingham and everything. Because again, looking at the Real Madrid team on paper, you feel like any team will get streamrolled, any team will get beaten. Like, you're looking at Mbappe and Bellingham in the same team.
Team with
Vini
you know.
What happened?
I think it's a very complete
and there's
team.
Still that fake World Footballer of the Year, Modric, and all of that.
Mbappe, BT616 says Mbappe, like the original Ronaldo, would not win Champions League with Madrid.
Sad.
If they can get their act together, I think that Real Madrid is the team to beat.
They're lucky that they still have, the coach that knows how to win.
Yeah, I think that at this point, it's still early times. I think whatever it is that we see is still early times.
Nobody saw that result coming. Though.
Yeah, nobody saw it coming, but it is still early times. That's what I think. On Saturday, we saw a lot of very kind of expectable games. Liverpool beat Ipswich 2-0. Interestingly, Ipswich kept Liverpool for the first half with not scoring at all.
Yeah.
We thought that it was going to be just, goals here left and right. But anyway, they won that. We saw Arsenal defeat Wolves 2-0. Whether we like it or not, we see the Wolves of before they will not help you win. They will not be part of the top 4. But they are always in that middle where they just become spoilers.
Yeah.
I think that's the Wolves that is coming back now. So if you are not careful, they will quickly get one up you. So I think that it was a very good, interesting thing that Arsenal needed to do. We saw Brighton defeat Everton. Everton has started the game 3-0. It's still, I think this is the same trajectory that we've been seeing from the last season, what Brighton was doing before the end of the season. They were not doing badly. Newcastle beat Southampton 1-0. Nottingham Bournemouth 1-1. And Aston Villa beat West Ham 2-1. There's still games today. The Monday Night Football is Leicester and Tottenham. Who do you think is going to win that game?
I can't put my money on any of these two teams, to be honest, until I see them play. Leicester are just coming up again. They're just coming back into the Premier League. But there's a lot of fighting talk from the Tottenham coach, and he's left a lot of words on marble. Let's see how that pans out.
Now, okay, BT616 says, anyways, have you guys done a postmortem on our Olympic performance? Yes, I think we did.
We did, but we just skimmed through. We did. It wasn't as in-depth as it could have been, but we did.
Yeah, so anyway, on that note, that is okay. Burkala Medubi says, she has a comment. Vinny, Bellingham, Valverde, Rodrigo, Mbappe, Camavinga. I can go on for a while. So many world-class players. So thought Madrid were the team that don't underestimate their opponents. I think that maybe they actually did underestimate these ones. They thought that it was going to be a walk in the park. However, it is football, like we always say.
Look at
anything
that
can
list
happen.
Of players that she just listed now.
Anything can happen. That's it. That's what football has just shown us. If you should go into every game like you're playing a final. Anyway, on that note, that is all we're going to be taking today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the BoomBar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.